everybody. This is Mike and Chris. We are in Dubai right now for the INC. It happens every year. It's the International Nut Congress. Chris is from Minerva. He's been one of our customers. You saw Ellie come on a couple weeks ago. Chris is one of Ellie's colleagues, so thank you, Chris, for being here.
Good morning, Mike. Good morning, everyone from sunny Dubai.
Yep.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
Yeah, you got it. So I think a lot of information came out this week. We had a position report on Wednesday, and then we had a subjective estimate on Thursday.
Yeah.
You want to just kind of start talking maybe first with that position report, what your thought was on that?
Yeah, of course. Now, I mean, heading into that position report, I think there was a lot of skepticism about what the position report would show. Especially with these continued logistical challenges. I think there was a lot of uncertainty, but the general thought process heading into the position report was one of bearishness, I believe.
Yeah.
I think it took everyone by surprise, and there's a lot of surprising elements in there as well.
So basically, last year we shipped in April almost 250 million pounds,
Correct.
something like that, right? Which is a huge record.
A record for the month by some distance.
Yeah, no, and that was kind of the way that the summer months had gone last year. So we were up against a pretty big one. We were down. There was quite a few other people that sounded like they were down as well.
Yeah.
But the shipments ended up being down 2%.
Flat, pretty much flat.
Yeah, so much better than expected.
And the second largest by some distance again.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately, I mean, with these logistical challenges, export markets still set a record for the month of April.
Yeah, I think that's super key, right? I mean,
Huge surprise.
The biggest export month ever in April.
Yeah.
So
Despite
I think
all those challenges.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. And the domestic market to me was somewhat shocking on the negative side.
Absolutely.
Right, down I think 10%, 11%.
Yeah.
And
I think it's hard to explain that.
One of the pieces that we've that we've kind of teased out of it a little bit, I think, would be logistics on the other end, right? So guys that we would sell almonds to that are roast or covering it in chocolate, they can't import the chocolate, right? So therefore they can't pool the almonds.
Yeah.
Another thing that we've I don't know if uncovered, but try to figure out is a lot of the retailers are still having prices that are more reflective of $3 almonds, right?
Absolutely.
So or closer to that 350.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of stifling demand a little bit.
Absolutely.
So okay, anything else out of that position report you found interesting?
I mean, commitments and net new sales. I mean, net new sales were above last year.
Right.
Fractionally above, but above.
Yeah.
I think, again, for me, that was a surprise. I think April was a little bit disjointed in terms of sales. You obviously had the TNT estimate, you had the position report both at the start of the month, followed by what I would consider to be currency fluctuations against the dollar.
Right.
And I think that caused a lot of uncertainty through the month. But despite all that, almonds proved value for money once again.
Yeah,
and I think
agree.
that's reflected in the sales for the month.
One of the things that we've had quite a few meetings since we've been here. I think it's like 28 meetings in 2 days.
Yep.
One of the things I think that most people were saying is they can't. They're basically speculating on all of their costs right now because everything's going crazy, right? Inflation's wild, input costs are going up, but the one advantage they have is they can cover almond. 70% of the cost is the input, which is going to be almonds, and they actually can cover that today, and at a fair value, I would have to think.
Well, I don't know about your meetings, but this is probably the only INC I've been to where, to be honest, I've barely even spoken about raw material.
Yeah.
All the conversation has been economics, political, and the bogey word logistics.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all we've been talking about since we've been here. Right, it feels like that way to me.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, and it's also been, hey, I need more extended payment terms.
Yes, absolutely.
Right, so a little bit of a pressure on the customers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so that was the position report Wednesday. Then Thursday we had the subjective estimate, right?
Yep.
So it's the second estimate, or really the third estimate we've seen. Wonderful, Famoso came out with an estimate as well of 2.8.
Yep.
This is the subjective, however, is one where they survey 500 growers. And that came out at 2.8.
Yep.
What do you think about that?
I would consider that a very neutral number, to be honest. Again, a lot of uncertainty about what we'd see. I think it really does depend on where you are in the valley to sort of dictate what you're seeing on the trees right now. I think because of that, there was a lot of mixed messages about what we'd see. I mean, obviously it's the first official crop estimate of the season. I would consider it a neutral number, but I would also consider it a number that everybody can trade behind. I think it's got something for the buyers in there.
Yeah.
It's still a good size crop.
Only because you have a big carryout, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
2.8 really is not.
So
Yeah, it's a good crop, but it's not a fantastic crop.
it's a good total supply.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think
Yeah.
it's a good total supply given the 900 to a billion pound carryout as
Yeah.
well as a 2.8 crop.
Absolutely.
But I really don't like the word neutral myself, right? Because Russell would always say, with old man wisdom, it's going up or it's going down. It's never staying flat, right? It's always moving somewhere.
Absolutely.
And I think that this is actually just more bullish than it is neutral, but maybe it's closer to neutral than super bullish. But I do think it's positive.
Yeah.
We're not expecting a 3 billion pound crop coming in, and in all likelihood, the crop looks as good as it's going to ever look right now.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to start looking worse as the summer months prolong and water becomes more of a relevant issue. So,
Yeah. I think ultimately, if you and correct me if I'm wrong, standard fives, I believe they traded between 175 and 185 since January, maybe.
yeah.
Start of the year.
And this is for some of our listeners. That is a gross market price. So,
Yeah.
kind of what our buyers would be paying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that number doesn't move it out of that range for
Yeah.
the foreseeable future.
Yeah, so you start trading at the higher end of the
Absolutely.
ranges that we've been setting, rather than kind of setting a new floor or trading at a lower end.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. You keep this market stable to firm
Yeah.
to moving upwards
Yeah.
on
Right.
the back of that number.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Especially with the position report.
Yeah.
You couple them two together, and I think you've certainly got a more bullish theme than bearish.
Yeah, I agree with you. Cool. Well, anything else that you wanna add to this?
Not really. I mean, it's been fantastic, INC.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me, and
Yeah.
thanks for listening.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Have a good one.